Globe. The war in Ukraine, an invisible environmental catastrophe. When people talk about war, they usually focus on human casualties, destroyed cities, and humanitarian crises. But there is another devastating consequence, an environmental disaster that will affect nature for decades. The war in Ukraine has already changed ecosystems, and its effects may be felt for generations. One of the biggest environmental impacts is the destruction of industrial sites, oil depots, and factories. Toxic chemicals released into the air, soil, and water create long-term pollution. Explosions and fires send heavy metals, ammonia, and other dangerous substances into the atmosphere. The soil becomes poisoned, making agriculture impossible, while rivers and underground water sources may contain deadly contaminants. Forests, once home to hundreds of species of animals and birds, have turned into battlefields. Thousands of hectares of woodlands have been destroyed by shelling and fires, some beyond recovery. Bombing and landmines alter landscapes, destroying habitats and forcing wildlife to flee. Some species may never return. Another major threat is landmine contamination. Ukraine is now one of the most heavily mined countries in the world. Fields, forests, and nature reserves have become dangerous zones. This affects not only people but also animals. Deer, wolves, bears, and other wildlife fall victim to explosions, while migration routes for many species have been blocked. One of the worst environmental disasters was the destruction of the Kakhovka hydroelectric power plant. This tragedy led to mass flooding, habitat destruction, and severe pollution of the Dnipro River with oil and chemicals. Vast areas of land became uninhabitable, and the river's ecosystem suffered irreversible damage. The war's environmental consequences will be felt for decades. Clearing contaminated areas, demining, and restoring forests and water sources will take not only immense effort but also billions of dollars. The worst part is that some losses are permanent. What can we do? Support initiatives that focus on environmental recovery. Raise awareness so these issues don't go unnoticed. And most importantly, work towards peace, because nature, like people, does not survive war without consequences.